The first thing people noticed about Corin Vale wasn't his missing arm. It was the grease stains that never left his hands. Out on the outer rim, on a scrapyard moon orbiting Hesher 9. He fixed what others threw away. Human alien AI didn't matter. If it had gears and hope, Corin made it run again. But the day the Zarathian envoy ship landed, stirring up dust across the metal plains, Corin's quiet workshop became the stage for something cosmic. The Zarathians were one of the oldest, proudest empires in the galaxy. Tall, elegant, bioluminescent beings who looked like someone had carved angels from coral and steel. They rarely visited humans except to laugh at them or use them. So when an armored guard dropped a data scroll on Corin's counter, the mechanic expected a debt notice or military requisition. Instead, the message glowed with an imperial seal. To the human artisan Corin Vale, it began. His exalted majesty Emperor Zarthal offers a gift, in gratitude for your species' creative perseverance. The Princess Thalessa will arrive by shuttle tomorrow to observe your culture. Corin frowned. Observe my what? The guard grinned. Don't ask. Just clean your floors. The arrival. When the shuttle came, it was smaller than expected, painted in shimmering pearl hues, thrumming with Zarathian anti-grav fields. Out stepped Princess Thalessa Zarthal, and Corin's first thought was, she looked different. Zarathians were known for their tall, slender builds. But Thalessa was broad, thick-limbed. Her exoskin marked with deep lavender streaks of royal lineage. Her luminous eyes blinked nervously in the harsh sunlight. Behind her, two imperial attendants whispered, struggling not to laugh. One muttered, "The Emperor really did it, sent her to a human. Cruel but effective." Corin caught that. He didn't like it. Thalessa tried to smile, lowering her voice. "HumanMechanic Corin Vale. I am your assigned observer." "Observer, huh?" He wiped his hands and nodded. "Guess that makes me your tour guide." He seemed relieved. "I was told you work with machines that shouldn't exist." "Yup. Welcome to the junkyard that fixes miracles." A joke. It took a few days for Corin to realize the truth. She wasn't sent to observe. She was exiled. In Zarathian culture, physical symmetry was everything. Beauty meant status. Thalessa's heavy frame and slower metabolism were seen as grotesque by their aesthetic standards. Her father, the Emperor, sent her away to study primitive humans, a thinly veiled punishment, and a way to remove her from court politics. But Corin didn't see what they saw. He saw someone who worked hard not to tremble when people laughed. Someone whose fingers lingered lovingly over broken machines, whispering to them as if they were alive. She learned fast, too, how to weld, how to calibrate a plasma coil, even how to handle the unpredictable human coffee machine that hissed like an angry droid. One night, under the hum of reactor light, she asked quietly, "Do humans find size offensive?" Corin glanced at her. "Offensive. Lady on my planet, strong builds kept our species alive during ice ages. We call that resilience." Her bioluminescent eyes glowed warmer. "Resilience," she repeated, as if the word itself was sacred. Shared ground. Over weeks they fell into rhythm. She'd lift heavy engine panels no human could budge. He'd teach her how to fine-tune sensors using feel instead of calculation. The scrapyard turned into a symphony of sparks and laughter. When the Zarathian attendants finally returned to check on her progress, they sneered at the sight. The imperial princess covered in grease, laughing beside a one-armed human. "Your Majesty," one said mockingly, "do you enjoy playing laborer?" Thalessa stood tall. "I enjoy accomplishing something real." Corin almost cheered. The heart of the machine. A month later, a massive colonial transport crash-landed outside the scrapyard. Human refugees fleeing pirate attacks. The reactor core was unstable, leaking plasma. Corin and Thalessa ran toward the wreck as everyone else fled. "If that core ruptures," Corin shouted, "it'll vaporize half the colony." Thalessa nodded, activating her royal armor, an iridescent plate that shimmered over her thick body. "Then we stabilize it. Together." They worked in the roar of fire and collapsing steel. Corin's prosthetic burned as he welded coolant lines. Thalessa used her strength to brace the reactor, her body absorbing radiation levels that would have killed a human instantly. At one point he slipped. She caught him, her massive arms wrapping around him like living armor. He looked up at her glowing face and whispered, "You're not what they said you were." She smiled faintly. "Neither are you, human." The reactor stabilized with a final hiss. The colony was saved. Whispers of the Empire. But word spread. A Zarathian princess working beside a human mechanic, defying caste and custom. The imperial court was humiliated. A month later, the Emperor's flagship appeared in orbit. Its shadow blotted out the twin suns. Thalessa was summoned. Corin watched her pack her tools silently. "You don't have to go," he said. "I must. To refuse would shame you." "Then let me come with you." She hesitated, then nodded once. The throne room. The imperial palace was an ocean of crystal and gravity wells, where the Emperor's voice echoed through 10 dimensions. Zarthal was enormous, his crystalline form pulsing with ancient power. "My daughter," he thundered, "you have shamed this house. Working among humans, their filth clinging to your royal skin. Have you forgotten who you are?" Thalessa bowed. "No, father. But perhaps you have forgotten what royalty means." He sneered. "Royalty is perfection." Corin stepped forward, ignoring a dozen spears pointed at his chest. "Perfection. I've seen your perfect ships break down because no one dared admit a flaw existed. You call her imperfect, yet she saved a colony that your admirals abandoned." The Emperor's glow flickered. "You dare speak to me, flesh thing?" "Yeah," Corin said. "Because she's worth listening to." For the first time in decades, someone talked back to an emperor. Truth and fire. Zarthal rose, towering over them both. "She was sent to you as a joke, human. Punishment. I expected her to return broken. Instead she returns, defiant." Thalessa met his gaze. "Perhaps your joke backfired, father." The Emperor's aura flared, but something else stirred in the hall. Whispers from the guards, admiration from the courtiers. They saw not a disgrace, but a warrior princess standing beside a human who didn't bow. Zarthal's rage dimmed into uncertainty. He sank back onto his throne. "You would defy the lineage of Zereth." Thalessa's voice trembled, but she stood her ground. "I would redefine it. Exile or evolution." For 3 long minutes, the Emperor said nothing. Very well. If you wish to live among the flawed, go. You are no longer Princess of Zereth." Thalessa bowed once. "Then I shall be something better. Thalessa, mechanic of HFY. Corin reached for her hand. "Guess that makes me your assistant." The court gasped. The Emperor's voice was low. "You'll regret this, human." Corin smiled. "Sir, I regret nothing that runs." They walked out of the throne room together, hand in hand. A joke turned revolution. Return to the stars. Back on HFY, the scrapyard became something new. Half human, half Zarathian. Refugees, exiles, and misfits came to learn and build. Machines that once symbolized decay now powered hope. Thalessa designed hybrid reactors that ran on both human intuition and Zarathian precision. Corin crafted prosthetics using bioluminescent alloys she'd smuggled from her world. When new workers arrived, frightened by her size or alien glow, she'd laugh and say, "Once upon a time they called me a punishment. Now I call myself a promise." Corin always grinned back. And the best damn engineer in this sector. Years later, the Emperor's empire began to crumble. The outer colonies, inspired by whispers of the princess who chose humanity, started rebelling, demanding equality, collaboration. Zarthal's messages grew less frequent, then stopped. Some said he died alone in a perfect palace surrounded by silent servants. Others claimed he watched her from afar, proud in secret. As for Corin and Thalessa, they built a home on the edge of the galaxy. He grew old. He didn't. But when she held him in her arms one last time, he smiled up at her and said, "Guess the Emperor's joke had a happy ending." She whispered, "It wasn't a joke. It was destiny." Legacy. Decades later, ships bearing the emblem of the alloy star roamed the stars, their hulls glowing with Zarathian biolight and human grit. Pilots spoke of the founders, a one-armed mechanic and a too-large princess, who taught the galaxy that perfection is useless without compassion. Every world that joined their alliance carved the same phrase above their ports: "We build what others throw away." And on a quiet moon surrounded by the hum of engines and the glow of alien dawn, a statue stood, not of a king or conqueror, but of two engineers standing side by side, laughing, holding a wrench between them like a scepter. Because somewhere out there in the endless dark, a broken thing still waited to be fixed. And love, once made in grease and starlight, never truly rusted.